Well, the Trump administration's fight for border security taking another big step this week, with the State Department designating 8 Latin American groups as foreign terrorist organizations. They are the Venezuelan-based Tren de Aragua gang, MS-13 in El Salvador, and 6 other groups based in Mexico, including the Sinaloa cartel. So this designation increases penalties for those convicted of aiding those groups. And Elon Musk, of course, a prominent advisor to President Trump, floating the idea of possible drone strikes against the cartels. Border correspondent Allie Bradley live for us in Texas. Allie, are drone strikes an actual possibility inside Mexico?
Yeah, experts on the matter say they're absolutely a possibility and on the table here. But the reality is Congress is still going to need to sign off on that and give the final approval in order to make that happen. But when it comes to the situation here, all eyes are on Mexico right now. Everyone's paying attention to what's happening on the south side. But some believe that the Trump administration is going to start in our own backyard when it comes to dismantling these organizations because they are present here at home. The DEA says the cartel is present in all 50 states. Congressman Tony Gonzalez, he says he believes Tren de Aragua, that violent Venezuelan gang, is present across the U.S. as well. Now, some of the consequences of this designation that is official today includes legal ramifications for anyone who helps a designated FTO, which includes U.S. citizens. When it comes to family members or an associate of an FTO living in the United States, they're eligible for removal and deportation. The Treasury Department, meantime, is also going to be working to block asset transactions from these FTOs. But what happens to the individuals arrested in the United States who belong to these now terrorist groups? Just yesterday, this suspected TDA gang member in possession of a firearm was nabbed in the Denver area. Now, with this terrorist designation, retired HSI Special Agent Victor Avila tells us that these individuals nabbed in the U.S. will likely get a one-way ticket to Guantanamo Bay.
It categorizes them just like ISIS, Al Qaeda, the Taliban. They're on equal platforms here, and that is the key here. They're going to get picked up and placed with different charges. Now, I know that a lot of people just want them removed, but I think we have to make an example of these and say, listen, you're not just a regular person anymore. You're a terrorist or financing a terrorist organization. You get to get picked up under terrorist charges. And maybe your next trip is to Gitmo. That's where we keep terrorists.
Now, Avila also tells us that while a lot of people think military intervention is the first step, it's actually generally the final step here. We know that they have already done a lot of recon missions. They've already deployed troops down here. I mean, Secretary Rubio announced this February 6th, but it wasn't public until yesterday. So they've moved a lot of pieces to kind of go after the cartels right now. So we'll see what happens. But Nichole, we know that President Sheinbaum in Mexico, she has about 30 days. The president gave her a month to come up with a plan to really crack down on the flow of fentanyl and illegal immigration into the United States. We know they surged about 10,000 troops to their northern border. They're going after some of these fentanyl labs as well, but Trump wants her to do more. She has a couple more weeks to come up with a legitimate plan here, Nichole.
All right, so a couple more weeks for that. And Allie, we know something else happening. The U.S. and Mexico coming together this week on a cross-border agreement. What more do we know about this deal?
Yeah, this is a big show of collaboration and coordination here, something we haven't seen for quite a while. But we saw 2 generals, one from the U.S. and one from Mexico, sign a joint statement yesterday of agreement saying, hey, we're going to work in collaboration with each other, and we're going to work on these coordinated efforts, talking about the drone surveillance that's been going on and the different things that we've been seeing over in the United States. But what they're doing is they're really creating an open pathway for communication and open collaboration between the 2 nations here. And we just reported yesterday that the CIA is using these Reaper drones to covertly hunt for cartels in their fentanyl labs. Mexican president, she initially kind of played it off, saying it's part of a little campaign, later acknowledging the move, though, saying it was part of a coordinated operation between the U.S. and Mexico, saying it has been going on for years. Now, both have agreed that this is an open line of communication. Again, Nichole, Mexico is going to have to come up with something to appease the Trump administration. But seeing these 2 nations work together like that and say, hey, we're allowing them to come over here and conduct surveillance missions and to go after the cartels is a step in the right direction for the Trump administration, Nichole.
All right. Allie Bradley live for us there in Texas. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.